Recording in progress.
Okay, you're all set.
Okay. Good evening. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Yarmouth Zoning Board of Appeals. Today's date is March 13th, 2025. My name is Sean Igo. We have two matters on our agenda tonight. The first matter is petition 4077, Kingsway Trust, 64 Kings Circuit, Yarmouthport, Mass. It's in an R40 zoning district, and it is here for the second year review per condition number 2 of special permit number 4977, dated November 4th, 2022, allowing unlimited public play on the Kingsway Golf Course. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm Attorney David Reed, representing the Kingsway Trust. As you've indicated, this is our second annual review following a 2022 decision in which you permitted unlimited public play at the private golf course at the Kingsway facility. For any members who were not involved in the past with this project, and I guess for the public, you will recall that the Kingsway development was an open space village development, residential development.
You just try the other microphone.
Do you want me to start again? Or?
I got it. It was just very low volume.
Okay.
It's up to you.
I was just going to say that the Kingsway development is approximately 200 acres. It contains 456 condominium units in the principal condominium, plus 19 in the Admiralty Heights section, which was a previous iteration of the condominium development, and 191 units in the senior center at the Heatherwood Senior Living Facility. Again, all on the 200-acre site, which includes the golf course. From the beginning of this development and the stages of progress of development, there have always been some restrictions on the use of the golf course by other than members of the condominium itself. Up until 2022, the restriction was not more than 8,000 rounds per year. At that time, due to financial difficulties in operating the golf course and a change in management for the course itself, we came before you and asked for a modification of our special permit for the open space village development to remove that 8,000 per year cap on public play. The board was gracious and granted that modification of the decision, but because some of the members had some concerns about whether or not the increased volume would have any impacts on either our facilities or the town or the neighborhood, asked us to come back each year after the new operation started for 3 consecutive years so that you can review our performance, the changes that have occurred, and any information you may receive from other sources, including the public and the neighborhood. Last time when we were here, there were several neighbors who arrived and had concerns about some unruly conduct and some disturbances at their residences near the golf course. Since that time, we have on several occasions met with neighbors and reached out to them, trying to address their concerns. With respect to hole number 3 and 9, which is the locations where the golf course comes closest to these neighbors, we have posted signs, which you have a copy of in your packet, directed to the patrons of the golf course, asking them to be considerate of the neighbors and not to disturb the adjoining properties in their course of play. We have also constructed at hole number 3 a solid board fence 6 feet high to separate the tee box from the residential neighborhood as a sound and visual barrier from them. And on hole number 9, constructed a similar barrier, but this time made out of arborvitae trees. Both seem to have worked. We have not received any complaints from those neighbors at those locations since those 2 things were constructed. Again, this is now our second review. We have indicated in the materials submitted to you that our golf operations reports a total of 16,159 rounds of golf played last year, 2024. Of that, approximately 73% was by the public. That's a comparable percentage to the previous year, an increase of about 3% over the previous year's total play. We note that you have received information from the town golf operations indicating for that its 2 courses, It hosted a total of 88,000 rounds last year. That's 5 times the volume of our business. We're only about 17% of the total rounds. Now, that's 2 courses, or 2.5 courses, really. But it's not a high volume compared to what the town already does for itself. In preparation for tonight's hearing, I contacted the Yarmouth Police Department for either concerns that they had received from neighbors or of any traffic or related problems that they were aware of at the golf course entrance or facilities. They reported to me that they've received 0 complaints this year or concerns. I contacted the building department today to ask if they'd received any complaints from neighbors, and Mr. Grills reported to me that he'd received none in the past 12 months. I asked our management team again today whether they'd received any internal concerns or complaints from people about parking, whether there was too much traffic for other uses of the facilities, and he indicates absolutely none. In fact, they would welcome more traffic for the restaurant and for some of the other facilities. So I think that's our report to you for this evening. If you have questions for us, I have several people here from the facility if you have questions that I can't answer. But I think, in sum, that the concerns we had last year, or we learned of last year, have been resolved and addressed. And now we can report that, to the best of our knowledge, the changes that you approved of allowing unlimited public play of the private golf course has not caused any undue nuisance, hazard, or congestion, the standards for the granting of that special permit modification. And in fact, we hope will continue to be that positive resource for ourselves, for the facility, help stabilize the economy of the internal structure of the condominium, and not be any bother to the town or to the neighbors. So, Mr. Chairman, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them for you.
Thank you, Attorney Reed. Mr. Mantoni, do you have any questions?
I don't really have any questions, just a couple of comments. You know, it appears as though you addressed the issues that we had, or the residents had last time, and without any complaints, you know, it seems to me everything's working just fine.
Thank you.
All right. Anthony, any questions?
No questions. Just appreciate the efforts that have been made over the year and listening to the concerns of the abutters and the neighbors, and seem to be addressed since we have no complaints. You addressed no complaints, and there's no one here opposing, of course, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay. Dick, any questions?
Nope. I got, seems like everything's running smoothly over there, and everybody's happy, and makes me happy.
Okay. I do have one bit of correspondence, a letter from Stephen Day, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, dated March 3rd, 2025, addressed to the Zoning Board of Appeals. I am writing on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Heatherwood Condominiums, an independent living community of 191 condominiums on the grounds of the Kingsway Complex. As abutters to the Kingsway Golf Course, we support the continuation of unlimited public play on the Kingsway Golf Course. During the time that unlimited public play has been allowed, we have not seen or heard any detrimental increase in traffic or noise, and we are pleased to welcome golfing visitors to our beautiful community. And again, that's from Stephen Day. That's the only correspondence that we have. I see there are individuals in the audience. Does anyone wish to speak concerning this matter in favor of it? Is anyone? Right, okay. So it's safe to say there's no one opposed who that wishes to speak in opposition? Okay. Anything else you'd like to add, Attorney Reed?
No, thank you very much.
Okay. Any further comments from the board?
None for me.
Okay.
That's okay.
It just reminded me that last year there was some indication that you might not need us to come back a third time, but that's certainly in your discretion. The decision does say 3 years, and the third one will be next winter sometime, but if you feel it's necessary.
I personally, I've got no problem with just the 2 reviews myself. The only question I have is where it requires 3, do you believe that that might require us to amend the special permit?
I think as long as we report to you on the status of, during the year, I think it would, perhaps we can leave it that, with your discretion, that we would report to you on the status, and you could then decide whether you want us to come in or not for the third formal review, as opposed to just submission of our updates of number of rounds and things like that. Or we can come in. I mean, it's not, either way, whichever you prefer.
That was really the only issue that I had, was just relative to the decision whether we would be changing it without a formal motion or petition. I don't mind doing it by motion, but whether that would just create.
I don't believe the decision says how the review has to be conducted, simply that you will
I don't
conduct.
know
an
that it
annual
says
review.
that. Why don't we just take a quick look at that? What did I do with my decision? Where is my decision? Right here. Let's see. The board will conduct a review of the golf operations annually at the end of each of the 3 years following the commencement of the said operating agreement. Well, might I suggest for continuity that we just have you back again, just so we don't put a fly in the ointment? I don't anticipate that we're going to have a problem. I personally think that you've done a great job mitigating any concerns that the neighbors have or have had. I mean, you all own the place together, too, so there's really no reason that you all shouldn't be good neighbors to one another, and I think you've certainly demonstrated that you are good neighbors. Based on the reports that you've reported to us, Attorney Reed, and the letters that I have from Heatherwood, the Board of Trustees, I think it's evident, at least to me, and I believe I speak on behalf of the board, that you're consistent with the criteria of the special permit, and that you're certainly creating no undue nuisance hazard or congestion. All right, and everything is running fine.
Thank you.
So I think we're good. I don't think we need a motion, and,
I
no.
think last time you simply, well, I don't know if you made a motion, but you would simply conclude that you have completed your review, I guess.
Okay. So is the board satisfied that we've
Yep,
completed the second annual review,
yep,
and that everything is running smooth over there?
yep.
And that we will see them, we'll see you next year, and I'm sure we'll probably have the same type of meeting. And we look forward to seeing you, and we're glad everything's running very well over there at Kingsway.
Thank you very much. We
All right,
appreciate
thank you
your
very
time.
much for coming by.
Turner Reed.
Thank you. You too. Good night.
Is that second petition?
Okay. Next matter on our agenda is petition 5163. Do we have them in the queue?
Mr. Chairman, Attorney Nolan is on the Zoom.
Okay, all right. And if they're ready to go, petition 5163, Joseph Santangelo. The property location is 12 to 14 Anchorage Lane in West Yarmouth, Mass. It's in an R25 zoning district, and the applicant seeks a special permit per 104.4.1 and 104.4.2 to convert an existing two-family dwelling on a pre-existing non-conforming lot into a condominium form of ownership. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Beth Nolan, and I represent the owner of 1214 Anchorage Lane. And thank you for letting me attend this meeting by Zoom. I appreciate it.
That is fine, that is fine. Go ahead, Attorney Nolan.
Okay,
Tell us-
so as you stated, this petition is for a special permit under the Yarmouth Zoning Board, Section 104.4, condominium conversion, and for a use authorized by the Use Regulations Schedule, Section 202.5, subsection A12. This is a pre-existing non-conforming lot created by a 1965 subdivision plan of land in West Yarmouth. The structure on the lot has always been a two-family house. Orazio Santangelo and his wife Teresa and Angelo Gigliotti and his wife Pauline purchased the property circa 1973. Teresa Santangelo is the sister of Angelo Gigliotti, and this two-family house has been owned in common by the two families. The Santangelos and the Gigliottis are elderly, and they're aware of the potential issues of in-common ownership with younger generations. So last June, Mr. and Mrs. Orazio Santangelo and Mr. and Mrs. Angelo Gigliotti deeded their in-common interest to the 1214 Anchorage Lane LLC. They are the current members and managers of the LLC. It is their hope that this board will grant the special permit and approve the conversion of the two-family house to a two-unit condominium. The two-family house has undergone several renovations. The last was a major renovation in 2004. The petition is to convert the existing non-conforming two-family house to a two-unit condominium. The footprint of the existing two-family house does not change. The interior does not change, as the two-family house has always been segregated into two separate dwelling units. The septic system is part of the condominium, along with the roof. The units are separately metered for water, electricity, and gas. The units, if this condominium is approved, will be restricted to residential use. A unit owner may lease their unit, however, the lease terms may not be for less than 2 weeks and limited to 6 tenants, including children. Airbnbs are strictly prohibited in the condominium, as would be animals. The application meets the criteria for the issuance of the special permit under Section 103.2 subsection 2. Namely, there'll be no undue nuisance, hazard, or congestion created by the conversion of this existing two-family house to a two-unit condominium. There will be no substantial harm to the established or the future character of the neighborhood. The conversion does not increase the existing nonconformities. The lot is in zoning district R25, where the lot size is to be 25,000 square feet. This lot is 15,000 square feet. The nonconformities will not increase. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, Dick?
No questions. We do this fairly often where our duplex is allowed to be changed to a condominium form of ownership. It doesn't make any difference with what's there, and it looks like you get some additional restrictions on it as well. So no, I have no questions or concerns.
Okay. Anthony?
No questions from me. Thank you for your presentation. I understand what you're looking for.
Okay. John?
I don't have any questions either.
I don't have any questions as well. I think it was a very good presentation. I will say that based upon the representations of council, as well as the condominium documents before us, that they do meet the criteria. I see that the use is not changing. It's written with proper management authority, and they do meet the criteria. They are on a legally pre-existing non-conforming lot. I really don't have anything else to add because I think council has gone over everything that I may have had some questions about. Do you have anything else to add, council?
No, thank you.
Okay. There's no one in the audience to either speak on behalf or against, so if there's any further discussion of the board or not, is anyone prepared to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve petition 5163 as requested.
Okay, no conditions, correct?
No conditions.
All right. We have a second?
I'll second.
Second? Okay. Any discussion on the motion?
No?
The only thing I would say is I think the petitioner has demonstrated that they do meet the criteria of the bylaw. There'll be no undue hazard, nuisance, or congestion, nor will it be more substantially detrimental to the neighborhood or the surrounding zoning district. On that, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. That carries 4-0 in favor. Were you planning on writing a decision for us, or do you want us to write the decision?
You tell me what your preference is. I don't know the practice in Yarmouth, I'm sorry.
We can write it. What's that?
Attorney Nolan, we could always draft a template and send that to you for your review and then return it to the board.
Thank you very much. I would appreciate that.
Okay, we'll do that. All right, so I think we're all set. All I would just say is there is a 20-day appeal period after the decision is clocked with the town clerk. Once that elapses, then the special permit will be issued to you. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
All right, well,
I
thank.
appreciate it.
All right,
Thank
well,
you.
thank you very much, and best of luck to the petitioners.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
All right, do we have minutes?
Mr. Chairman, we have 2 sets of minutes.
2 sets of minutes. Okay, let's take a look at these. Minutes of February 13th, 2025. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. I think we have one more. Do we have one more set?
February 27th.
7th.
February 27th. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of February 27th, 2025?
I wasn't present for that, the meeting, so.
Also move.
Aye. Anthony?
I'll second it.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. That carries unanimously. That was an aye out of you, wasn't it, Dick? It was. Okay. Okay. Very good. I think we'd win on a majority. I don't think we need a super majority to approve the minutes anyway, in case you didn't like them. Okay. Any further business?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hearing none. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.